Welcome to another episode of Straw Hat Crusaders. New intro.
Man.
It's one of those.
On this episode, so much happened. JoJo died?
Cow get kicked?
The gang goes to SeaWorld.
And Arlong's really mean?
Whoa.
That
was a real guitar.
That was
actually.
yeah.
Nobody saw
Josh
that, but Josh whipped
pulled
out
it out,
a real
licks
one.
of fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of us here didn't like it.
I liked it.
I liked
Look
it.
at me.
I loved it.
Okay. They might have just
You're
been
wrong.
me. I might have been the one
Are
who
you the
secretly
one?
didn't like it.
Yeah.
Guys, we're here to talk about JoJo. We're here to talk about One Piece. But first, we got to talk about who the fuck we are. Who are we? I'm Josh.
I'm Hayden Hardrick.
I'm Adriana.
And I'm Clayton Chalman.
Yeah, and I think today's a special episode. Today's a very special episode because not only did we finish JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 2, Battle Tendency, or I should say Clayton finished it, and we watched it with him, but also we got to a critical point in One Piece called Arlong Park, and we got to a really cool moment, and I think we're all really excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can say that again, Buster.
Say it again.
I think that we are all excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we're definitely starting with JoJo today, no fucking question. Which is really funny because, like, it's technically we just watched a finale, but this random midpoint in Arlong Park is clearly way more pertinent to talk about. So Clayton,
Yeah.
you have finished part 2 a second time, but it may as well be the first time,
Uh-huh.
right?
Basically, yeah.
How do you feel?
So I'll tell you, I remember, the only memory I have of the end of part 2 is the feeling of just not giving a shit and like sitting there and being like, oh my God, just get me to fucking part 3 where it gets good. I had a much better time with it this go around.
Let's fucking go.
There was a lot of very fun stuff. Everything. So it gets to a certain point. We'll get into the specifics of everything, surely. But the final confrontation, I thought, was without a doubt some of the best JoJo stuff yet. I thought it was very fun, and it was kind of truly the first moment where there was a villain that I was like, that I thought worked.
Are you talking about this session in general, or specifically the finale?
Specifically everything with cars at the very end. I
Yeah.
didn't.
Right.
I wasn't that into cars until there was some stuff that happened.
Until he went X Games.
Until he went sicko mode.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you like him more than Dio in part 1?
More than as a villain, yes. As a character, no. If that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
think
that.
Dio as a person is a lot more interesting, but I don't think that Dio, like, I was never like, oh man, Dio's here, this is trouble. It was more just like, this guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And specifically, I think there's a kind of tonal shift once Lisa gets stabbed. I would have loved that moment. I would have really enjoyed that moment if it didn't piss me the fuck off 5 seconds earlier by being like, and look, he made a clone of himself.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was about. It pisses me off, too, because Lisa is really amped up to be kind of this badass.
Yep.
And she is a badass, but it's more implied than shown. Because she gets stabbed.
Yep.
With a fucking catorso.
And it is by like a dirty trick,
Yes.
which, that's fair.
Because she had cars for a minute.
Yep.
For a minute there.
Yep.
How do you feel about... well, first we got to talk about the chariot race, right?
Of course. The chariot race.
Everybody's favorite everything.
Great stage, by the way, in All-Star Battle R. Has a great
Oh.
stage.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, just
I
like-
need to play Battle
it's just-
R. I still have it.
Well, I mean, it's also I think in the first one too, the original. But it's like it's just a stage setting, but it looks really great. Not important though.
I think it's important, Josh. Don't sell yourself short, buddy.
Yeah, we all know you worked so hard on that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I 1 second. We're good. We're chilling. I thought it was. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was boring. There's a part where Wamu gouges out his own eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be like, now he's going to use echolocation.
Right.
And then him doing that is only ever a disadvantage. He doesn't use it to help himself at all. At any point. At no point does he do anything that he could not do if he had eyes.
Why did he have to gouge his own eyes out?
No,
Couldn't
no,
he just
actually,
close his eyes?
he did that not necessarily as an advantage, but because I think he was on the verge of just passing out. It was to amp himself up. He was at a point where his arms were like almost hanging off of their sockets. And he does that so that he kind of goes into warrior mode again. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to just fight at all.
I'll tell you what, there have been multiple points in my life where I wish I could do that. And I couldn't. I can't use echolocation.
Wish you could gouge your own eyes out?
And use echolocation. Yeah.
I swear you did that last
That
Tuesday.
would-
I swear that you did that. I was there and you did that.
When my Uber Eats order gets canceled after 40 minutes, that's what I want to do.
When you're on the verge of starving.
Yeah.
You gotta get your but Joseph's fun, right? In that battle.
Joseph's fun. I do also. I enjoy the moment where Joseph drives by at the very start because he like slowed Wamu down and he's like he grabs the sledgehammer. He's like, I got the fucking hammer. He's like, you're fucked. You're gonna die. I'm gonna kill you. And then he turns around and Wamu's holding the whole pillar that the hammer was hanging off
It's
of.
literally called the Pillar Man.
Yeah.
Like, why would
Yeah.
you?
What?
Why would you not
That's
think
what
he
that
was gonna
means?
get it?
He always grabs the pillar.
Yeah.
Every fight. Every JoJo fight.
There's this
Pillarman.
weird thing with Wama about where he's the honorable Pillar Man.
Yeah.
Where it's like he was hesitant about killing like the Haman users, the old Haman users in cold blood. Like there's a flashback about that. And that he's like he actually kills a lot of the goons that come to get Joseph after Joseph defeats him. Because he's like, no, Joseph won. And I am gonna die honorably. And it's go ahead.
Because Wamu was he one of the babies that Cars took?
Yes.
Okay. It was
Him and ECDC were the
babies.
adults.
Or were the-
No, sorry. Cars and ECDC were the two adult Pillarmen that escaped from the village. And then they had young little baby Wamu and baby Santana in their arms. Yes, but Santana, they left in Mexico. They left him behind whenever they went to Europe. It's just really funny because he sucks. Yeah, it's crazy how much, like, half of what you watched is the chariot race, I think. And I literally have nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, I barely remember it.
It is kind of lame and kind of
People love it.
Isn't
People
that
fucking
when
love it. Yeah.
Cars does his
Hair
wig reveal?
Yes. He takes his shawl off and reveals his beautiful hair, and all of his goons go, "He's so beautiful."
At the chariot race?
After
right
I think after they after
At the
Joseph
arena.
won.
Which is like such a nice thing of the goons to do. I feel like if I had goons
Right.
and I took off a hat,
really
I'd
good
want
hype
them
men.
to really be
Yeah.
like, he's so hot.
He's so hot and sexy.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, Cars is like the sexiest JoJo character aside from maybe
Ever.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa. Actually, both of the sexiest JoJo characters are you could argue are in part 2.
Sure.
I saw this YouTube video.
Clayton, what's the sexiest JoJo character so
All
far?
of the characters I have laid eyes on thus far are absolutely sexless. To me. Like the way that they are drawn is
Yeah.
like statues and nothing more.
even Lisa, really?
You ain't never wanted
yeah, I
to
don't know.
fuck a statue?
That's true. Actually, statues can elicit sexual desires, and these characters, to me, not really. Thus far, at least.
Okay.
That's so
All right,
cool.
white boy. I mean,
we'll change that.
go
Yeah.
on.
I'd fuck ACDC though.
Okay. Well, then that's
Those little
It would be
veins.
passionless.
Wait,
little
the
veins.
brain or
Either which way. However he's coming.
I once saw this. I saw this, and I think I showed you this, Adriana. This YouTube video that took an AI ordered all the JoJo characters from least beautiful to most beautiful.
right on convention.
And by convention,
Facial
and
proportions,
and then
right?
and then they put in a little slideshow video where it just scrolls through them from right to left. And Cars is number 2. The AI viewed as number 2, and number 1 was Lisa.
Spoiler.
Whoa.
It was a riveting
Yeah.
experience.
Speaking of Lisa, you found out her identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my issue with a lot of these things is there's stuff where I'm like, okay, I could have enjoyed this. I do wish, and I'm sure that this is something that will come as Iraqi gets more experienced. Just nothing like that is set up. And I don't need it to be like One Piece stuff where it's like 100 chapters later. But like if it had been set up a little bit in like the preceding stuff, if there were like hints towards it, maybe there were and I missed them.
There was one big one.
Okay.
In the beginning of the part, they say that they don't mention who she is, but they say that the child that Erina saved ended up marrying the child that she was pregnant with and giving birth to Joseph.
Okay.
And then later before you learn that Lisa is his mom, you learn that she was the baby raised by Strayzon.
Okay.
So right there and then, that's when I put together, I'm like, oh, okay, that's his mom.
I mean, that's basically as good as revealed, right?
Yeah, but then then you're strung along like with the other characters putting it all together, even though it literally is not even really relevant to anything going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was the? Because it's like in the last couple episodes, I was like, I feel like I remember there being a reason that she's his mom, and it's
less
not really.
It's less so that she's his mom and more so a vehicle, I think, for Iraqi to go back to the past and look at how all the Joestars always die young.
Yeah.
Because you get through Lisa, you see her backstory, which I actually love. I love her that little part of the episode where it's just like she takes revenge. Dio still finds a way, even in death, to kill another Joestar with George the second.
Because one of the zombies was, I guess, really smart.
He was an officer. He was an Air Force officer. And Lisa goes in and gets revenge, and then she goes on the run. Speedwagon helps cover her up, blah, 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 blah. That's why Joseph's raised by Erina. It kind of then comes back to the overall themes of part 2 being, what do we inherit from? We inherit so much from our ancestors. How much of that is like chance? How much of that is fated?
Yeah, I think it was just like the beginnings of really and like putting a lot of focus on the family lineage and stuff,
which does become much more important later on.
Right, which is like it's always focused on that one like family tree, and like even Caesar was like the descendant of someone who was important in part 1 and everything. So he really likes to be like, these guys are connected.
Well, he also, if you're watching it for the first time, right, and you don't know that Joseph's in part 3, you think Joseph's just gonna die because the only part before this, the main character dies. He dies, his dad dies, then you have his flashback where Joseph's dad had died. Yep. And on top of that, you have Caesar has died, and his family lineage parallels Joseph's perfectly. Like the same things happen to him. It's like this is what this must supposed to be what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is about. These motherfuckers always die. But part 2 says no, Joseph died, but psych.
Yep.
I
liked that.
Yeah.
That was great. I
love the funeral.
It's really funny.
Yeah, him rolling up was very cute. I really enjoyed it. Especially because I tend to just enjoy things that are a bit more optimistic, and I'm glad that it is not a series full of characters that are like doomed to die.
Yeah.
People looking around.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a diverse saga.
Yeah. I'm totally fine with more deaths.
I think everyone should die.
I think everybody should die, and everybody does die eventually.
True.
I mean, yeah.
Everybody gets murdered eventually. It's just time.
It's just time. It's a question of time, honestly. But yeah. So Cars goes sicko mode, right?
Cars goes sicko mode.
What'd you think of the Dream?
That was I did enjoy that. Because it was the first point where it was like, there have been a lot of points where they're like, oh my gosh, his blood's so hot, we've lost the battle, and it's like this moment of despair. This is the first time where I was like, yeah, this it seems like there's not much they can do to this guy. He had JoJo like trapped holding the fucking rope too. I thought that was all good, and so his little guitar moment there, I was like, okay, this guy's a little freak.
Yeah. Also, I love Josh really practiced his guitar impressions before coming on this episode. He was like up all night, like.
That's right, because I found it curious that what Cars was saying. I don't remember the exact, but it was very different than how we would usually like imitate a guitar strum. It was a very specific like sound.
Well, first he goes, well, Joseph, how do you like this? And then he does a little bit of vreem vreem, and then he chuckles to himself, very very Riley, and then he does even more. And it's very specific. I didn't do it perfectly. That voice actor also, I love that specific voice actor.
Yep.
I don't know. Actually, I'm trying to think. Where else have I heard him? I think he was in Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, neat.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he played. Did anyone see that? Did anyone watch that here?
No.
Watch.
Have you seen Cyberpunk?
Watch a playthrough.
Sorry. Have you seen Edge Runners? Cyberpunk
nice.
anime. It's actually really good.
So I've heard.
It's one season. It's really good. I'd give it a shot. Yeah, I like that. And also, funny enough, he's one of the few JoJo voice actors who is fluent in English, which. Well, this is completely irrelevant, but have you heard the All-Star Battle meme where it's like it's all the characters saying All-Star Battle?
No.
Oh yeah.
Or Eyes of Heaven.
Oh yeah. The audio where it's just like they say JoJo in Japanese and then they say Eyes of Heaven.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of the different characters one after the other.
Well, seeing as they don't know, it's completely irrelevant. Anyway.
Okay.
But I'm glad you caught that, Adriana. I was gonna get into a factoid that this is for later.
So JoJo and Cars are fighting. There's a whole lot.
You gotta cut that out. You gotta cut all of that out.
Nope, no sir. We aren't cutting shit.
Okay.
But there's a fight going on. JoJo's like tied to his mom, and Cars has a chainsaw. And then the vampire army starts marching forward, and it seems like all is lost. But then what happens?
We get our favorite people.
Who's that on the
says my
horizon?
favorite characters.
No, it's like
Clayton's
Gandalf showing up.
It is kind of Clayton's favorite character that he's
you
just
guys.
mentioned. He talks. He literally every time we were about to start the podcast, Clayton cannot help but like start just gushing about Rudolph von Stroheim.
His name's Rudolph?
It's Rudolph von Stroheim.
Rudolph?
Rudolph?
What?
Oh well,
That's the worst thing about
That's
it.
actually bad.
or maybe that's the way.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Honorable death.
The Nazis show up and they save the day.
They help a little bit, not much though.
Yeah, I mean they start kind of wasting the vampire army. There's like so many though that it doesn't matter a whole bunch. And then actually, I guess they do kind of fuck the day too because they're about to use the big flashlight on Cars.
Yep.
After JoJo does a trick on him. The trick was good. He was like, he lit his scarf on fire to distract him.
Sleight of hand.
And did a little bit of, and I like that. As
rope
somebody
action.
who really respects close-up magic, I think that was awesome.
Yeah.
But
He really should have gone down that career path, I think.
He
I
really-
think
would have been so good.
That
at
would
it.
have been really
should've.
good. Yeah, fuck real estate.
Joseph's combat is so much better than Jonathan's. It's like not even
Yeah,
funny.
absolutely.
For sure.
I really think, I could be wrong, I feel like it's going to be a while before I like another JoJo as much as I like Joseph.
I don't think it's going to be that long.
It's not going to be Jotaro. I can almost guarantee you that.
I'm not even talking about Jotaro, but also just give
Okay.
Jotaro a shot.
I really like This is not me saying that I don't think there's good things coming. I just really like Joseph.
Yeah.
That's a red flag.
Really?
Jesus Christ. Guys,
No.
Jesus Christ. No, it's not.
I mean,
no, that's understandable.
I'll be honest with you. It's talking to a specific kind of person, it can be a red flag. Yeah.
Typically, though, anytime someone's like, Joseph's my favorite, I'm like, that makes perfect sense. Like, that. He's such an icon. I don't think, though, Joseph will probably stay up there for you, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
That's my guess.
He's definitely in like top 9. Definitely top 9.
He's top 9 JoJo's.
Yes, for
I
sure.
know the deals of JoJo's to come, of JoJo's yet to come.
The deals?
But I don't know. I just know. I know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll ask you to explain the deal of the next JoJo every time you finish a part.
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Should I do that for Jotaro right now?
Absolutely,
do
yeah.
for JoJo right now.
I have seen some of the stuff with him.
Yes,
JoJo, he's really mean, and he's really cool, and he's very standoffish, and all the girls like him a lot. And he is, I think, 16 or something,
He's
and he's
17.
built like a fucking
Like his grandfather.
brick wall.
Yeah.
But though, no matter how much it seems like he's a stone cold son of a bitch, he's got a soft side.
Aw.
Yeah.
Don't.
This is a decent job.
Yeah, we
100%
won't
wrong.
correct or
Confirm
or
nor deny.
confirm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jotaro's the nicest JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
It
He's
is.
the
Honestly-
kindest, and he says sweet things all the time. He looks
He's
at
up
the
there.
camera and says, "I love you, viewer."
He says,
I will
love
say,
you.
of the 9 JoJos, I do think holistically, Jotaro is in the top half of being the nicest JoJos.
In the
I-
top
I'm
half,
excited
yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
I like that.
there are some JoJos that are fucking ruthless.
I want more of that.
I'm
Right
so
there.
trust me. I can't wait for you to find out. But let's get in the head. We're putting the cart before we're putting the cart, the
Before
chariot
before the
vampire horse.
horse.
I love you.
Thank you.
So yeah, he does a little trick on Cars. The Nazis come in, they save the day, except they don't because they power up Cars' epic Stone of Aja mask.
Yes, I really liked that moment as well. Cars is lying. He's in the fucking
He's
Family
lying.
Guy pose. he's falling down and he's hurting himself.
Yeah.
And then they blast him with the big light, and he turns at the last second to reveal that he's got the mask on with the stone on the forehead, and then
Yeah.
he turns into a bigger, meaner vampire.
I do like a lot of the visuals in those last few episodes. I will say, especially when he starts transform, or when he rises up, and then the sun shines like on his back and shit.
Yeah,
It's in the,
The
intro
hair
too.
going.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
a good one.
It's so fuck. It's really sick. It looks even better in the manga. Actually, the manga
Yeah, I
looks
know
fucking
what you're
sick.
talking about.
Dude,
I
it's
need
a
to
part
see
that gets memed to death, but it's still like very enjoyable. Is like the moment right after he becomes the ultimate being, and you see like his eyes and then the space
Yes,
behind him.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
I see that so often, but it is like objectively a very cool moment.
Yes.
and a very nice.
yeah.
it's a lot of big memes in this finale.
Yeah, run away.
Yeah, he did the runaway thing again, which
I enjoyed
the
that as
callback.
well.
Yes,
Especially because he was being heroic in that moment and not cowardly, and trying to
Yeah.
lead him away from
Absolutely.
his friends, the Nazis.
I have one problem with Joseph in Battle Tendency. Do you want to hear?
I'd love to hear it.
I want to get what you guys
One
think.
single problem, which means you condone every single other thing he's
I
ever
literally
done.
every other thing
ever.
ever
And his friends.
ever
Ever.
and his people he has fought in battle
People.
with.
Yep.
Yes, them.
Brothers in
All right, let's hear it.
arms.
My one issue with Joseph as a character is that, and it's specifically only in part 2, is that he does this whole thing. Araki makes his whole point. Like he's likable, but he's like a rogue. And
Yeah.
he's like whatever, and he's kind of immature. But then Caesar dies, and he has this moment where he's like, "I've only ever we have an intruder. We have an intruder.
God,
We have-
holy
we have a
shit.
fucking criminal.
There's somebody in our
A
walls.
bug just crawled through the door.
Bye."
Okay, we scared it.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Beyonce, just walked in to get her tripod, but she's gone.
Yep.
Is she?
Okay.
Yeah, we can just carry
Anyway.
on. Anyway.
So Joseph has this whole thing where Caesar dies, and then he's like, "I'm changed. I've only ever thought about myself, but now I can only think about how now I don't give a fuck what happens to me."
Mm-hmm.
And then he proceeds to be the exact same guy he's been the entire time. Who
That's
was
true.
not completely selfish, by the way. In the
Yeah.
beginning, he's still like he everything before that he's just immature, but he still fights for what's right.
Uh-huh.
And then afterwards, same thing.
Yeah, I guess there's the one moment where he like opens fire on a restaurant full of people, seemingly
Right.
like not
Which
giving
Josh
a shit who he
condones.
kills.
Yeah.
It was in the name of the greater good.
Yeah, but even that felt like out of place for his character even back then. From like the brief few interactions we've had with him, the first thing he does when we meet him is go out of his way to save somebody who had already stolen from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of JoJo's have this thing. Sorry, were you about to say something? Sorry. A lot of JoJo's have this thing where they already are like, when you meet them, pretty fully formed and developed. I would say that even though Joseph gets some of the most focus as a protagonist in his own part, is one of the lesser developed JoJo's throughout his part. And there will be some people who will try to say otherwise, and I will argue with them.
Yeah.
I will argue with them.
I think this is why I didn't get into it really until, well, I mean, everyone has this experience where they're like, it doesn't get good until part 3 or whatever, and people say it's because of the stands or whatever, but for me it was because it becomes a lot more character driven after part
Absolutely.
in part 3.
I'm excited for that.
Like, and which is just like a preference of mine with any kind of media.
And the group dynamic becomes much more important in part 3.
Yeah, because it kind of stops being the thing where it's like, oh, there's only one character in this group who can actually do things.
Yes.
It's like everybody can
Everyone's
have-
necessary.
It's not
Yeah.
just like one person doing things and everyone else is along for the ride, and everyone else is just like the audience that you're supposed to like relate to and being like, oh my god, I can't believe he just did that. Whoa.
Yeah. There's not just like 3 people narrating what he's doing. R.I.P. Speedwagon. He died, by the way. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
Yeah. Clayton cried.
Clayton cried.
I wept for Speedwagon,
Yeah.
for Robert E.O. Speedwagon, the oil baron.
Yes. Which we were watching it right before this episode, and our friend Jill he was on screen and was like, is that Oppenheimer? Because he was in his hat. It was really funny.
Yeah.
So, one more thing I wanted to kind of ask you about.
Of course.
Sorry, Inquisitive Clayton entered the room. But how did you react to Kars' new abilities? What did you think about that?
You saw, so I don't want to talk about it. The people at home don't get to know.
Yeah.
But I thought that was very fun.
His squirrelification.
This felt like kind of the first moment where things got bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
In a way that, not the first moment, but bizarre enough to make that the name of your goddamn show.
Yeah, sure. To live up to it, yeah.
Yeah. Because the first season was like funky. I would have called that JoJo's strange
quirky
Bazenture.
adventure. Yeah. Bazenture.
Yeah. JoJo's Bazenture.
Can we have like merch?
Yeah. Can we change the name of the show to The Bazenture?
Pirate Bazenture.
Strange Bazenture. One Bazenture. I bet the audience is loving this.
Yeah.
Let's start having 2 conversations.
It was a really funny thing to say.
Yeah, it's Bazenture. It's awesome.
Oh, God.
Okay.
What
well,
the fuck were we even talking about?
The bizarrety of Kars'
powers.
Yeah.
They're Bazenture.
They're strange. They're bizarre. We see he looks at a squirrel, and even though he could surely do anything the fuck he wanted right now, he decides that he wants to turn his hand into a squirrel and send it to go kill everybody. But he doesn't just kill everybody. First, the squirrel goes and seduces another squirrel and then kills it.
Yes.
you never heard of a trial run?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
He
it
was
eats
learning.
one Nazi.
Yeah. Well, he eats Stroheim's belly.
Yes.
He swirls around like he's
Not
in a
his
laundry
belly.
machine.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird to say someone's belly when that someone is a Nazi. This Nazi's tum-tum.
I like when he turns into a big bird guy.
Yeah.
That was
Bird
interesting.
guy's
It's pretty
awesome.
sick.
Bird guy's
The
awesome.
animation actually goes hard when it comes to his transformations.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
like it a lot.
cuts off Joseph's arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
He cuts off Joseph.
Screams
And
and
he says,
cries
"Ah."
genuine
There's
screams.
a lot of
pain.
good screams in these
Yeah,
last few
they
episodes.
cut off his real arm in the studio. To
Yeah.
make it-
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
the best
I
sound.
bet.
But they put it back on. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so it ends. We have a little montage.
Oh, how do you feel about the way that Cars died?
Oh, yeah.
And that little.
Well, died. Quote.
Well, also
Okay.
the Stretchstone of Aja, the prophecy I talked about last episode,
Mm-hmm.
came true.
Remind me.
So the Redstone of Aja, it's
right.
what
It's the
Cars
only way to
needs,
defeat the Pillarmen.
but it's the only way to defeat the Pillarmen. And now we see how that comes to fruition.
Yeah.
Fate.
It was really good. I liked his little death. I do kind of hope. I think that Cars would be a very fun villain to bring back, much like Dio does. And I actually don't know if that is something that happens.
That's what
We'll
I
see.
thought too after I first watched it. I was like, he's out there. He's, who knows
People
what could
do
happen.
talk about that theory a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when I watched this for the first time, part 2, I literally said to Josh, I was like, I feel like the only way to like deal with this is if you put him in space.
That's so true. Adriana called
I
it.
Wow.
literally said that.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then it happened.
Adriana's
Hell yeah.
good at calling things.
I guess I am.
Adriana called a big. Adriana, there's like this. I won't say what it is, but there's this little
Sorry, you were just angled away from the mic.
I love it when Clay starts doing sign language. There's this mystery set up in the first chapter, part 9, and Adriana called it immediately.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
really?
What
Yeah.
it is.
I haven't started part 9.
Yeah.
At that point, I was just like, I've
Yeah.
been on.
And Adriana was the only person on the entire internet that.
No.
Well, the only person I ever heard.
I mean, I haven't
Not-
seen anyone else say that, but I can't have been the
and the
only
whole
person.
internet, I didn't see anyone say, "Oh, it's gonna be that." It's
All right,
gonna-
enough about how much I'm a genius.
And I doubted Adriana, and I will never do that again.
Okay.
He's learned his lesson.
Yeah, but yeah, Cars. He just eventually stopped thinking. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it. I think he gets his just dessert. I'll tell you that much. He gets launched into space, and that's a very horrifying thing to think about.
Right?
Yeah,
Just
there's
be
a
fucking stuck.
Yeah.
few moments throughout the all of JoJo's that it's just gonna have you being like, oh, that's a
So unsettling.
torturous existence.
Yeah.
That is just
a
the worst
fate
thing
worse than death.
I've ever heard. Yeah, you're like,
Hell yeah.
I would die instantly.
There's one
Instead
in,
of do that.
Yeah, there's one in part 4 that is really glossed over that you don't really think about the impact of in the moment, but we'll talk about it
Give
on
me
the
a clue.
episode.
I can think of a few. Things
I'll tell you.
is it the end of part 4?
No, it is like an early fight.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Oh my God,
Literally,
you're
yes.
right.
And nobody cares.
And
but you're just like,
nobody
hey.
thinks about
No give no
No
shit.
give-
They just walk by it for
I'm
the
so
rest
sorry.
of
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Honestly, something that you can look forward to. I'd noticed that a lot of the villains have in JoJo so far, as all 2 of the main villains, just kind of have this thing where they're like, world domination. I'm gonna rule the fucking world. I'm gonna become better, and I'm gonna rule the world. And I'm happy. I can say that it becomes more interesting than that.
Yeah.
As we meet new villains. Maybe not yet, but I will say we are still in so many ways in the proto stages of like JoJo. But I'm happy. I'm happy that you enjoyed it more than part 1.
By a lot.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that we feel that way too. Adriana gives a thumbs up because they were drinking water.
What? I wasn't.
Okay.
Josh.
Stop lying.
So I don't know. Do we want to rate it? Before we move
Sure
on?
thing.
Do you want to give it a little rating?
I would say this last stretch, I really enjoyed. I think the part overall for me is like a 6, I would say.
Cool.
But
Which-
with the caveat that I'm starting to feel the JoJo fever.
Ah, like in
What?
what are the symptoms?
I'm I was having a lot of fun with this last bit. By far the most fun I've had, and I was enjoying the silliness of it in ways where, for example, when the icicle ladder thing happened,
Right.
I love that.
I was sitting there with my mouth perfectly straight line, didn't crack a
Neutral
smile.
emoji.
But then when the scroll started happening, I think I'm the most excited I have yet been to continue.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. What about like outside of watching it? Because like we're already like we're already thinking about One Piece outside of like, you know, when we're reading it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think I have a lot of moments. Have not yet necessarily been like, I'm so excited for these next episodes.
Yeah, no.
But I have been like knowing a little bits and tastes of what to come. I'm very excited to get into things, because if this is not how good it gets, not that this was like amazing, but if this is like a taste of what it's like when Araki is writing good and interesting fights, then I'm very interesting for them to have a battle system that works for me, that I don't hate.
Tip of the iceberg, for sure.
We're almost
Yeah.
there. We're getting closer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Part 3 is its own journey. It has its own ups. It has its own downs. It's its own Bazenture.
Yeah.
Strange Bazenture.
My grandpa has Bazentures.
That's fucked up. That's messed up.
You can't do that.
You can't fucking do that.
Okay.
I think we'll save the expectations for moving forward for the end, right? For the end
Yeah,
episode.
I think so.
Well then, is there anything else we want to talk about?
Any closing thoughts, Clayton?
Any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. JoJo's design was different at the end of this than it was at the beginning of part 3.
Yeah.
He looks different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about
Oh,
Jotaro?
Joseph's?
Joseph.
Oh, Joseph.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, old Joseph. Yes.
People often say that part 2, part 3 Joseph is a very cursed Joseph.
It looks funky, and you
looks
can
fucked
tell
up.
they hadn't put a whole lot of thought into what they wanted him to look like yet.
Yeah.
Well, I actually, on the contrary,
Oh?
I think they put too much thought. They made it match the rest of the part, because they did. Okay, so something I'm so excited about moving forward in JoJo is that now the parts are going to be, the art style is going to be much more faithful to the manga going forward, because part 1 and 2, they did this thing where they were like, okay, well, part 1 and 2 look too much like Fist of the North Star, so we're gonna kind of both fuse part 1 and 2 similar style together and kind of animeify it, so to where like part 1 and 2 in the anime look enough like JoJo. But going forward, they're like, we are fucking 1-to-1, almost 1-to-1, gonna try to get the style down. So one of my favorite changes that comes with part 3.
Hell yeah.
We will talk about that even more fucking later. I
Sick.
think going forward in this podcast, we got to talk about One Piece.
Okay. I might.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's happening. Okay.
I'm just really excited.
Yeah.
I could.
Hayden, where?
It's just in my
Hayden,
heart.
you're
It's
so
in my
excited.
heart.
Where are we in One Piece right now?
Where are we at One Piece? Well, we are about halfway through maybe Arlong Park. This past week, we finished Baratier,
Yes.
and we started Arlong Park.
The infamous
And
Arlong Park.
it's so good.
It's all right.
It's.
Fuck you. I'll kill you right now.
No, yeah, it's really good.
It's really good.
It started off pretty for me, just a little higher than par, where I was like, I don't know if it's just because I know the characters more. I don't know if it's just because Baratier was pretty good, but I'm like, okay, I'm digging this. I like these character designs. The fishmen look cool, but so far it's just pretty standard. And then it just kind of starts ramping up, and then it's like an exponential ramp up towards the end there.
Of the stakes are like
The
when you're like,
stakes.
oh, Nami's going over here. It might just be another
Yes.
crazy island or whatever. But it's like, no, like shit's going down.
Well,
Like,
Do we want to start with talking about Baratier a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
before?
Yeah.
'Cause I know we're
Oh,
going to have a
yeah,
lot
because-
more to say on
yeah.
Arlong Park.
Wait.
Baratier.
But we
'Cause-
finished a good half of an arc.
because we didn't talk about like Sanji leaving or anything.
Yeah,
right?
not yet.
No.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
Oh my
Sanji's
gosh.
cooking, dude.
Sanji's
So yeah, I
cooking.
think where we left off, where we started this week, is the whole gas thing had just happened, and Luffy ran in, and we just had kind of the last little bit of that fight. Luffy defeated Mr. Don Krieg. What did y'all think about the rest of that confrontation?
One of the funner fights.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Definitely had a lot of fun with it. I think it was just it had another good couple moments. I really liked the spinny legs when he did.
Yes,
the
That's
big
one of my
body
favorite
slam.
moves. I really like that.
loved that.
Yeah, Don Krieg's spear I think was a cool weapon to give him, just with the big explosion stick.
And the hit armor and the shield, I liked. That was like the only thing I liked about Don Krieg.
Yeah, and the whole thing of like Luffy using it and like jumping around to create a battlefield that he could actually fight in, I think was such a fun little moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when he does Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Fucking love. Maybe it's the JoJo fan in
Hits
me.
him so hard that he breaks the armor, and he just keeps punching him on the way down.
This reminded me. We'll get into this more, but I think you're kind of familiar with Jotaro being kind of like the strongest guy up until the point that you meet him. And Luffy kind of feels like in battle, he kind of feels like the Jotaro of this, where it's like, all right, well, Luffy's just he is gonna win. Like, he's just going to power through it and just somehow beat the shit out of this guy.
I really liked Zeph's commentary, too, to Sanji during the whole fight.
Yes.
It added a lot to the fight.
Yeah, the moments with, like, the grit stuff where it's
And,
because I think that was such a fun, and they, like, really exemplified that, too, where it's just, like, Don Krieg kept being like, and now you've lost, and Luffy would just be barreling towards him, and it's like, whoa.
Do you know, have Sanji ever experienced the Grand Line at all? I don't
Sanji's not been on the Grand Line.
No.
Okay, so it really felt, well, I mean, like obviously they've had other people like frequent Baratie and stuff, but it really felt like Zeph was like, dude, this is the shit I was talking about. You know what I mean? Like this is the real. This is the stuff that you've never really seen before.
And Don
Every
Krieg is
day.
a chump, right? By Grand Line standards.
Yeah, Don
Yeah.
Krieg, basically, his story is that he was the strongest man in the East Blue. He was so feared. He takes a giant armada to the Grand Line and immediately gets wiped and sent back crying.
By one fucking guy.
Yeah.
Named Mihawk. Which was sick.
Which he's one of the grand 7 warlords of the sea.
Yeah.
The 7 evil X's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does
Go
that
ahead.
make Luffy Scott Pilgrim?
No, he's too good to be Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim would just fucking die. Jin is... I kind of was fucking annoyed with Jin. I'm not gonna
Really?
lie.
Why?
Well, I mean, I liked his like redemption at the end, but then he's like just... I wrote, okay, Jin is down bad for Krieg. That got annoying. I get it. I get why. But Jin felt like a character who... He kind of felt like one of those, anime, oh, am I supposed to care about this character? Oh, I guess I have to start caring about this character now. Where it's like, it kind of feels a bit like, like they're billboarding, please care about this character that you kind of has been irrelevant up until now. But kind of a nitpick for me.
I don't know.
I feel like he's the kind of emotional core of the whole Don Krieg situation.
Like from the start, he was the one who washed up.
No, he's not irrelevant. Definitely, like, story-wise, he's not irrelevant. I just emotionally, to me, I just was like, you're a fucking simp the whole time until
I didn't really relate to. I mean, at the end, I was like, yikes, that sucks that he's still loyal. But I mean,
Sanji was like really sympathizing with Jin
a
lot, which
I think Sanji, he has like his code of honor, and I think he kind of sees that in Jin,
which I love.
I don't think he really liked him. Like, I think he would have killed Jin if he needed to.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think
it just was like, wow, you really want to help the enemy so bad because of your code of honor, which I can imagine being a conflict of interest later on.
I liked Jin just because he made a lot of unexpected moves, or not unexpected, but just unique, motivation.
I respect it. If you like Jin, I could see why.
Yeah.
Not for me personally.
He didn't get too annoying, is what I mean.
I hope he comes back.
Know.
I hope we see him again.
Me too, a little bit. Yeah.
I wouldn't be pissed if we saw him again. I just felt like there was so much going on maybe with Baratie at any given moment, and then I'm like, the last thing I want to do is focus on this random, just Jin, you know.
Sure.
But and then all of a sudden he's the Demon King, but that was last. I thought.
Okay, yeah.
That just
all right.
that was just my thoughts.
You hate media. It's fine. you hate good storytelling. Whatever.
I liked it. I liked it a lot too because I feel like there's a lot of like I feel like Baratie, kind of plays with that idea of like loyalty, and when it is good and when it is bad. Because it's like that's all of Sanji's little arc is like being fiercely loyal to this one person. And at the end of it, he's like, oh well, like I guess I'm not gonna do that anymore. Like it was just. It was stagnating me, and I think Jin is a good example of like almost in my interpretation a little bit of like a warning to Sanji as well. Is it's like, hey, if you're gonna stay somewhere that's not gonna like bring you to this new place or bring you where you want to actually be, like why are you staying loyal to it?
Yeah. I guess Jin was a foil for him in that way because he was also. I didn't think about the Zeph Sanji, Krieg Jin parallels there.
Well, Jin's like ultimate goal was piracy, which he was like, "What? I love piracy. I love being a pirate.
Down 9/11.
I love downloading movies illegally." And
I love it when I can watch Step Brothers without paying for it.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 movies.
But yeah, so that like made sense that he would stay loyal to that, but like Sanji's main goal was to blow up.
And then act like he don't know nobody.
Into their hands as they couldn't finish the
Shinji
bit.
pose.
and then act like I don't know nobody.
How did y'all feel about Krieg overall? Don Krieg.
I liked him. It's just like I liked it being just kind of a fucking piece of shit that was egotistical. Just giving me the nod no that I'm wrong.
No, that you're wrong, and it's my objective opinion.
I didn't like him. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah.
I didn't like him too much as a character, but I liked what he represented thematically. I'm liking that with each pirate we are getting, and including this latest main villain in Arlong Park, we are getting kind of different ways in which pirates can be dishonorable, which they can be scum, versus the honorable pirates that are the Straw Hats. Even though they haven't really been like
doing any
pirating. Have they been doing a lot of pirates? Have they been doing a lot of piracy?
Not one red coat life on their hands.
I will say there is a historical thing that Oda had in mind that originally in I think even there was a precursor to One Piece called Romance Dawn, which is a little like one-shot kind of manga where Luffy like meets Nami and there's stuff that goes down. But in that, he introduces the idea that there are two kinds of pirates, and this is a historical thing as well. There are the Peace Mains and the Morganeers. Morganeers being pirates who pillage villages, who plunder ships, and who steal from innocent people, and the Peace Mains being pirates who would stay in villages, kind of live off of what they were allowed to have, as well as as well as kind of steal from the Morganeers, the pirates who would make it their goal to only steal from the people who are already hurting others.
Yeah.
So
like
kind
Shanks.
of.
Yeah.
100%.
So like where the government is the enemy, not just the rest of the world is the enemy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Would that make sense?
I think that's great. I love that.
Oh, so Peace Mains steal from the government.
From the government and from Morganeers.
That's sick.
It's
Yeah.
like
more of that.
what's the term for like the different kinds of like computer hackers?
A white hat.
Yeah.
Hacker. They're like white hat hackers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Put it in some Zoomer terms.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah. Relevant topic.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, that's cool. And Don Krieg as a fighter was just more interesting than I would say Kuro. And maybe on par with Buggy. I don't know. I like Buggy's fights a lot.
Yeah.
I personally just couldn't change gears after. Is his name Hawkeye or what's
Hawkeye Mihawk.
Okay.
Hawkeye is his
So what do people
kind
call
of
him?
nickname.
Okay.
I will be from henceforth referring to him as Mihawk. That is how he is mostly going to be referred to.
After he showed up, I just was like, that was so epic, and then he just went away, and then it wasn't as epic. But I mean, it was still you know what I mean. But Don Krieg compared to him was underwhelming to me a little bit. The fight wasn't underwhelming, but he was as a villain. Yeah.
Gotta say, I am really liking the. I can't wait to enjoy the fights more because everything between the fights, I'm always like, yay, more character interactions. Because after that happens and Luffy wakes up covered in just comically sized bandages, and the first thing he says is, "Where's my hat?" Him and Sanji just have some moments that I really love, and then Zeph is looking over, and I loved when he was just he saw Sanji describing the all blue, and he was like, "Oh, he still lights up when he talks about that kid's gonna make the all dinner one day." Maybe I'll try to say it to each other. I'll try to come up with the all dinner.
That's what he wants to make.
That's Sanji's goal, right? To make the all dinner. He's gonna use the all spark to make the all dinner in the all blue.
That panel where Sanji looks over and is like, "Have you ever heard about the all blue?"
You sent that to us.
I did.
And then you with a code.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Let me try to decipher that code right here on.
Yeah. What do y'all think's going on there?
I don't remember what this code was. I didn't look at it because I didn't want spoilers.
Not really a code. It's a bunch. It's a censored sentence.
Okay, I said. Okay, the
Right.
first word
Sentence.
I
Yeah.
want to. Is that it? Am I good so far? I want to.
Oh, it's right.
3-letter word. 8-letter word.
Interesting.
I want to.
We can't spend too much time on this.
Well, what is it?
No.
I want to fuck him.
It's 3-letter word.
With a Q. Fuck
With a
him
Q.
with a
Fuck him with a Q.
Fuck him crazily. Fuck him eventually.
No, I thought it was great. Are we ready to talk about Arlong Park? I got
Sanji
Sanji's
leaving.
goodbye.
Sanji leaving.
Yeah.
Sanji's
Yeah.
was
goodbye.
really emotional.
It was really. I
The
really
pirate
liked how
cooks
they
were
did
like,
that.
"We know the soup
Yeah.
is bomb. We gotta he needs to spread his wings."
They gave him the creature's goodbye,
Yeah.
which is something that a word I came up with.
Creature's goodbye.
Yeah, like Harry and the
Yes,
Hendersons.
that's
Yeah, is that
exactly
like
the
where you
movie.
throw rocks
Yes, like,
at
get
him
out
and
of
you
here.
get
We
out
don't
of
like
here?
you
We don't like you
anymore.
anymore.
Yes.
But really, you just want him to live a better life.
Yeah, he belongs in the wild.
Yeah.
And Sanji
Until,
just, like-
of course.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go
And
ahead.
Sanji just overheard that they didn't mean it. It was great.
Yeah.
And then they were leaving, and he's walking out, and he's like, not. They're all like, "We hate you," and the two guys try to kill Sanji.
We're gonna beat your ass, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's all very stoic and manly.
It's a very machismo goodbye.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're going to
Yeah.
fucking act like we hate each other for years, and then at the end, we're just going to start crying.
Yeah,
Which was really
goodbye.
they're
nice.
all so serious until Zeph. All he says is, "Hey, eggplant head, keep your head dry, or keep your feet dry." or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Sanji goes, "Ah!" and he cries.
cries like a little baby, and so
Like a
does
baby.
everyone else.
Yes, including Clayton Chalman. That's
Yeah.
one for the tear count.
I did cry at that part.
Hell yeah.
Really? You did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Loser.
Sometimes I cry when I think about that part.
No,
Yeah.
That's valid. I definitely felt so much. And then the precious sea cook, Sanji,
So precious.
goes on a little skiff with Luffy and with... Is it Kosaku or Yosaku?
Yosaku.
With Luffy and Yosaku.
And they make it to.
What? Wait. Not yet. First, we get a huge fucking lore drop.
About
About
Oh,
the seven
yeah, yeah,
warlords. Yeah,
Those
we get
men-
the seven warlords
Which
of the
the
sea.
seven warlords who are sanctioned by the government, pirates.
Yes.
Pirates
Yes.
sanctioned by the government to deal with other pirates because the government, the corrupt-ass government, gets a cut of their winnings. And they are just together one of the three big forces that keep the Grand Line so dangerous. And that's just the Grand Line. We haven't even talked about the North Sea, or the North Blue, the West Blue, or the South Blue. Yeah. So it's crazy how extensive this is becoming. I'm living for the world building here. And not only that, but he talks about the seven warlords, which we've met one of them, Mihawk, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But that's not even who we're dealing with on the way to Arlong Park. We're dealing with someone who was once an equal of one of the warlords.
Yes, and equal as in like...
Had the same role in the community?
Yes. You can kind of consider it that this was the crewmate of one of the seven warlords. I believe Jimbei of the Fishman Pirates.
Yes, Jimbei, who unleashed
a crew member,
who unleashed a terror into the world. But we're not dealing with it. We're dealing with Arlong.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we go to Arlong Park.
Yeah, we finally made it.
Well, Luffy and company don't, but Johnny and I don't know why I started with Johnny, but
the most important character,
Zoro and Usopp, and then Johnny are in a ship together, and they make it as they follow Nami. I gotta say, Nami was already before Arlong Park my favorite Straw Hat so far because she seemed to be the most mysterious. There was potential for a layered character there, and she just had some great moments. I was worried that once we found out more about her, I wasn't going to feel that way again. She was kind of going to settle. So far, I found out so much about her, even more so my favorite Straw Hat.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. She is right up there with Luffy for me. Because like Luffy is still, I think, my favorite, especially after, like for... When I was reading, I was like, "Oh my god, is Nami my favorite?" And then we got to the end, and I was like, "No, still Luffy is my favorite character so far."
The end of this last chapter shot Luffy up.
Yeah,
he's got some more stock points in my book, I will say. After that.
But we're not Nami, there yet, of course.
Nami is so great. And you get this like twist where it's like she's part of Arlong's crew, which was like,
she was wearing a t-shirt and now she's wearing a tank top. And
classic t-shirt deception.
Yeah, even though there's no way that tattoo would be hidden under the t-shirt, but...
You don't know.
She specifically measured her sleeves for that.
Yeah, but which was awesome. I love how Arlong Park looks like an actual water park. I love that a lot. All the characters just feel more with time, obviously you get more invested. But so far, all the characters have been utilized very well.
Mm-hmm. We get introduced to the fishmen species.
Yes.
Yeah, which is...
Cool guys. 10 times the strength of any normal person, or 100 times.
Maybe 100 times. They're like picking up houses and shit.
No, I loved when they got to Gosa and all the houses
were upside down.
Comically upside down, which is terrible. It's terrible.
Terrifying.
Yeah. A terrible event.
Terrible
I think there was one of the things I wrote down was when Zoro first gets to Arlong Park. Which I love how they separated them.
Yeah.
The way we'll get into that.
Them tying her up and ditching him as soon as danger shows up.
Usopp was not it for that. Johnny, I would expect that from Johnny. Usopp was on my shit list for a minute with that.
Usopp is a coward. That's what he does.
Yeah, but he comes back. He always comes back.
He always comes back.
And he's brave again.
Yeah, and he's brave just enough to get himself into trouble, and then immediately shits his pants again.
But they kept running, chasing each other, and going to different parts of the villages. It was awesome.
Get to the village and be like,
"Oh my god!"
Zoro, he went back to Arlong Park to get you. And they just keep running back and forth.
The pacing of this arc so far has been much better.
Yeah, but. Specifically, there's a moment where Zoro, when they're first getting introduced to Arlong, and he says that little line about being like, and she even forgave the murder of her parent for money.
Yeah.
And you see that one panel of Nami's eye, and it's that was drawn soul-piercingly well.
Dude, she looked like Oppenheimer in that.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, it's just you just immediately get kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, okay, we're still on Nami's side.
I did not, but we did find out that it was a deal. I thought that meant that she joined their crew to eventually betray them, but then it was like, oh no, that she made a deal and she's just trying to like above board, trying to like fulfill her end of the deal.
Everything with Nami that we've learned about her is none of it's contradicting all of these reveals about her character. It is all being complemented, and all of it is coming together in a way that Nami is seemingly a very layered character.
Yeah.
So Zoro's insane for trying to kill himself.
Zoro was
like,
going up. Zoro is
like,
back. Zoro,
nice argument, bro. Too bad I kill myself.
Zoro is
like,
he's thinking he's back.
He's thinking he's back. But to like, I have a hunch that she's not all bad. I'm gonna kill myself to prove it. Like
he does. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Zoro loves almost dying. He can't get over
Yeah,
it.
true.
He wants death, man.
And that's because that's the best part of that moment is Zoro did not think for a moment that anything else could possibly happen, and he was right.
Yeah.
He knows people. He keeps fucking people up off screen. I'm getting so sick. I love seeing that it happened.
I like it. It's mysterious.
Yeah. But
I also think there's a lot of ground to cover with the stories Oda tells, and he doesn't want to show fights that aren't important. Like, you'll see fights that are important, but
I appreciate that.
If there's a fight, even going way later on when people are really strong, if there's a fight where you know what the outcome is gonna be, you're not gonna see it. Like, and I don't think you need to.
I just need to see more Zoro. Zoro gets a lot of W's, but so many of them are off screen. And all his L's are very on screen. So
his one L.
He's had a couple.
He had a tough fight with Buggy's guys, but he still won.
There wasn't there in when he fought. There was someone he fights someone with Kuro. He fights one of Kuro's men. I think pretty sure
he fights
loses.
a grease hill and loses a lot.
Yeah.
That wasn't his fault. Whatever.
Anyway.
Point is really cool. Adriana. I'm going to out Adriana here. Adriana cannot...
Excuse me?
When someone sits in a chair in a bisexual manner, Adriana, it brings Adriana to their knees.
Are you talking when Zoro had killed everybody and had taken Arlong's little throne?
Why do they make him sit in a chair like that?
One leg up on a throne, it's over.
It's the Boba Fett pose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Buggy D Clown pose.
The Buggy D Clown. Who, by the way... I'm loving the fucking cover story with Buggy.
Yes.
Do that for the whole series. All 1 million chapters. Please have Buggy in the cover doing shit.
I love that.
Even when he's in the chapters later on, if that happens, I'd still need him on the cover.
Did we get... Did we address that last time? I forget.
Yeah, we talked about the cover story a
about
little
it.
bit.
Okay.
I didn't know that the
For
lady
Alvida.
was
that's
Alvida.
right. Alvida turned into a Kardashian and is definitely having weird sex with Buggy now.
Before or after he gets his body back?
Probably both.
Yeah. I love Buggy's fucking ability so much. I cannot wait to see more of it in action.
I hope he becomes a straw hat.
Me too, man. God damn, me too. But what else? What else happened? Nami stepsister.
Yeah.
What? Nojiko. Yes, she was awesome and cool and really cool.
Yes.
And awesome.
And
She was hot
and
as fuck.
hot.
Some about
And-
just silver hair.
Tattoos,
The
the
tattoos are
short
cool.
purple
Yeah.
hair.
I was wondering if it was like the tattoo thing in that town was like a reference to like a certain coastal town, like the you know what I mean, like the I don't know what it's called, but the method where they just use one needle on a stick and then tap it a bunch, and
Stick
it's
and
like
Or, I
it's
guess
kind of like that, but it's like a traditional thing, and I don't know where specifically, but like an island, culture. Anyway,
Tattoos.
It looked
personality
cool.
I also really
Literally,
like her as a person.
I
think
like
she's-
her
Yes.
so much. I cannot wait for Oda to start drawing women with different faces though, because it's really funny that she's Nami's
The
stepsister,
stepsister.
looks identical to Nami. So does their adoptive mother, by the way,
who is awesome as fuck,
Yes.
who is
and probably
amazing.
like looks like a roller derby. Like
literally the realest parent of all fucking time.
Yes.
That I think I cried like 2
slay.
times during that backstory.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been
Yeah.
in front of y'all, I would have fucking cried.
Yeah.
About reading all that shit.
I would have
Uh-huh.
cried more if
I
I wasn't. Yeah.
I do know that he does mix it up with faces a little more, I think. I just know that Nico Robin has a little bit of a different feature.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you right
Oh my god.
Dude,
You forget that. Forget what you just said right now.
that's not a spoiler, my man.
He mixes up the facial features and such with different things that happen. One thing he doesn't do is mix up the body types of women, and that is a bummer because many of the men get very cool, interesting designs where they are crazy shapes that no person should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
But-
actually to a fault.
Yeah.
The fact that octopus guy when he showed
Hachi.
up on screen, I wanted to throw my computer across the room.
You'll
I
grow to love
loved that. I loved his design. I also loved the moment where he was just like, "Oh, you're a guest of Arlong?"
Yeah, I actually
All right.
he did grow
That was
on me.
funny.
I ended up liking him. He was funny. But I texted Josh a picture of him and just said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Arlong's design is pretty sick.
Fuck
I
yeah.
really like it a lot. It reminds me of my gym partners, a monkey.
Monkey.
Thank you.
He looks like a combination of Coldmeister and Knifehead from Pacific Rim.
Who's Coldmeister?
From the movie.
I'm Mr.
Yeah.
Goldmeister. I'm Mr. Snow.
What movie?
The movie.
I don't even know. Nobody knows the name of it because it just
It's just-
appeared on a TV whenever you were a kid.
What the fuck are y'all talking
It's
about?
what was it? Was
fucking
it the
Gentiles,
Christmas
dude.
it didn't snow or like the
Something like
a
that.
Christmas Without Santa? Was
Sure.
it? I think.
I haven't seen it.
That time there was that ice guy. That's the name
Yeah.
of the movie.
Anyway,
Gentiles. So chapter cover. Also, I have to mention there's a chapter cover where they're all dressed like samurai.
it's
Yeah.
cool. Yes, it's very cool.
Fucking sick. One
Yeah.
of my favorites so far.
Mm.
Moving on. Yeah. So
What did y'all think about the murder of Usopp?
Yeah, that was a cool moment. I mean, I knew it was a fake out.
I
yeah.
thought.
I
she
thought One Piece was
actually-
over. I thought it was the end of One
Uh-huh.
Piece.
I thought she actually stabbed him, but it was that place that you can be stabbed
Yeah,
and live.
yeah.
But I think it was actually that place too.
It was her hand.
But yeah, it ended up being her hand.
The place you can get stabbed and live. Somebody else's hand.
But I love that, like,
So true.
That's so fucking real.
that nobody comments on like, "Hey, Nami, what happened to your hand?" Nobody
that-
from
Right.
Arlong's crew.
if you go and read through that part, you will notice she's got the blood all over her hand.
Yeah.
Makes sense. She just stabbed somebody, and then she very quickly it walks basically away. And the next time we see her, she's got bandages on her hand.
Yeah.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
She's wearing a glove for a second too. Right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yep.
It could look
Yeah.
like
She's probably filled with blood.
yeah. I think
Ketchup.
it was like if anyone saw the
was
blood,
ketchup.
it just looked like it was Usopp's blood because she was like really
Exactly.
close in there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Um.
Momu.
Yes.
The
Momu?
cow
Mr.
beast.
Cow.
My
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
character.
He gets throat kicked.
Yeah.
I love how the Straw Hats have like no kind will towards animals. Like
No!
Luffy chokes a dog immediately in the story.
They have no
Sanji
fear.
kicks the shit of a cow guy.
Yeah, they punch him like 3 times. It's like
Yeah.
a titan. Like if that thing
No, but Sanji
appeared,
tried.
It's a
if that thing
Leviathan.
appeared
I-
on like the coast of Florida, we'd have a nuclear war. We would nuke the shit out of that thing, and they just punch it. He just
Yeah.
You
punches
just
it.
punch
And
it.
kick
That's all
it.
you need to
Yeah.
do.
I love this trope with main characters when they're just hungry. They're really hungry boys. And like it's a thing with Goku, I know. I think it's a thing with Naruto. It's definitely a thing with Luffy.
Yes.
And Luffy's like, he wants my food, and he just socks him in the fucking face. This beast.
Yeah, that's how me and Josh used to be when we
Yeah.
started dating.
True.
But when Momu came on my screen, yeah, sure. I didn't have a book. I really liked
The
that.
face was so
It
cute.
was so
He was
cute.
really
It's
silly.
so
I love
cute.
it.
Adorable creature.
And they
Love it.
ride Momu to Arlong Park.
And Momu is crying, weeping as it travels.
That's messed
Sad.
up. We should not laugh at that. That's messed up.
You were the only one that laughed.
Well, I know I didn't. Edit that out, by the way. Edit that
Okay.
out.
Put in a laugh track.
Luffy doesn't give a fuck about. Luffy finds out Nami is fucked up or whatever, and he's like, I'm going to sleep.
He's like, no way. Are you serious? See you later, guys.
I really like both of those moments. Nami tells him to get out of here, and he's like, no, I'm taking a nap.
Yeah.
And then when Nojiko's like, I'll tell you what's going on, Luffy's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, I don't care what happened to her in the past. She's my friend now.
Kind of has Saitama energy.
Yeah.
I will say.
Kind of has character energy from character. You know?
He has boss baby energy.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing for Luffy is it's not so much that he doesn't care. I think he would care very much if Nami was telling him that.
Yeah.
I think it's that he doesn't need an explanation to be willing to help her.
He's like, Nami's my guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where am I going to find a navigator? I need you guys. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out he found the best one.
Yeah, apparently it's cool.
World. Bam.
The whole world, the all world, the all map.
The all map.
He wants to make the all map.
The all piece. What's the all piece? Is the One Piece just the all spark from Transformers? Tell me right now.
You got me.
Fuck.
You got me.
I can't believe I
I'm
guessed
so
it.
excited for Optimus Prime to show up.
Yeah. We have to take Sanji to all to make the all dinner. Genzo. I like Genzo a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Genzo's
cool.
Sick.
Genzo's
Like
cool.
his
is
scars,
cool.
and then we saw how he got his
We
scars.
got the scars.
The way that the village just like we knew what you were doing, Nami, but we didn't want to tell you because we didn't want you to feel like you had to come back.
Uh-huh.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And then like it recontextualizes that earlier moment where they're like, we have to keep living or none of this is worth it.
Yep.
And it's just like, Jesus, they're fighting
Yes.
Yeah.
so hard.
I will say Arlong at first was like, okay, low-key kind of just feels like another one of the One Piece rogues gallery. Not aside from his design and his troll face constantly, not really standing out. But then the way he fucking dealt under the table with the Marines to fucking set back Nami's plan, the way he double-crossed her, the way he's his toxic pirate trait being that he's a fucking double-crosser.
He Shawshank Redemptioned her, right? Is that the movie I'm thinking
I
about?
don't see Shawshank.
Which part of Shawshank?
Is that the one where the guy does the taxes for the officer while he's in jail?
Yes.
And then he's like, I can't let him go. He does all my taxes, and so he makes him stay in jail, even though he's supposed to get out. Yeah.
After that happened, I'm like, damn, Arlong is fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
I want him to die. I'm invested in this guy's demise. I'm not just hoping for it.
Yeah.
And you talked to me a little bit about this a while ago, but you were talking about like how One Piece gets a lot of like kind of anti-cop at moments. This is like the first moment where I'm like,
bam.
Oh shit, we're starting to be like, yeah, these guys, the Marines, not good guys either. The government is not on your side.
No.
I mean, where it's like the other Navy guys tried to help, I guess,
And they were fucking murked immediately. It was I do like the way this is positioning itself to be very anti-fascist and very very like
especially with like the villagers at the end,
woke pilled,
when they're like, we have to fight now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if we're gonna die.
They're victims of circumstances. So is Nami.
Yeah, and we're going to fight now. And it's like this like revolution little thing popping up.
It shows how it I can't believe I'm saying this about fucking One Piece, but it's like it's getting into how like if you can trace all of these conundrums the main characters have been in, all of the strife they've had with each other, you could always trace it back all the way up to the government is not taking care of its citizens. The government is not taking care of its citizens. Oh, wait, why did that happen? Because there's systemic failure with the government.
Mm-hmm. Is there? Well, I mean, I guess if there is, we'll find out later. But like, it's the Navy is basically the government because there's not a lot of land, right?
Essentially,
or is there a land government as well?
There is. I think it has been said there is not a land government. There is a world government,
right?
That the Navy is just one branch of.
Okay.
Spanning all four of the seas, one uniform government body.
Yes.
Yeah.
which I love. I always love it when in a I don't know why, but I just think it's really fun to have the whole Earth ruled by one government, and then and then everyone has to deal with this big bad government.
You kind of when you watch stuff like that or read stuff like that, it's like you kind of forget that that's not how it is. Normal, it just seems so normal.
The
like
deep state,
like when you come up, like, yep.
The globalist.
But yeah, it's like, what? That's crazy, actually, if that actually happened. If there was one guy or one,
Yeah, is there like a king, a president of the world government or something?
I mean, there's a chain of command, which we saw briefly. I think it was talked about in this one, even.
There was a chart that we saw, and there's like a guy who's above the entire military. I don't know if he's above the whole world government.
That would, of course, be the fleet commander. Grand Admiral. And then 3 admirals, and then...
when did we see this?
We saw this, right?
This was at the end of a chapter. It was like just
That's what it was. Because I couldn't remember why. But yeah, there's a Grand Admiral. There are 3 admirals. And then there's a flurry of vice admirals. I don't remember how many.
Okay, cool.
Why does he have a pinwheel on his head? I did not.
So he can tell when it's windy.
I did not notice it until Luffy said it.
What?
That's actually
awesome.
He basically sustains himself off of wind. That powers his body.
That's Bazenger, dude. That's a real Bazenger.
I also really hope we get to see Mouse Guy's head explode.
Oh yeah.
I literally haven't hated a character that much.
Yeah.
Yet.
That little bit of
want him
being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Best case scenario.
I want him to puke his own testicles out of his mouth.
Yep.
Grab him and
okay.
Yeah.
Best case scenario: Momu eats Luffy, kicks Arlong's ass, feeds him to Momu, and then Mouse Guy, whatever you guys said happens to him, and then Nami kills him and then gives the treasure to the town and was like, y'all are good. I'm gonna go make the all map.
Clayton is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Audrey. I think that'd be awesome.
Do you think Sanji's gonna make Arlong into food? Do you think they're gonna eat Arlong?
That would be my favorite fucking thing to happen so far. Sanji's cooking. Sanji's cooking.
That's gotta be the most taboo shit. Oh my god!
But he's gotta be thinking about it. He's gotta be thinking about it right now. You're like, what do these motherfuckers taste like?
Black market fishmen meals.
Jesus Christ.
That's insane,
That's
Hayden.
Fucking insane.
Why would you even come up with that in your brain?
Look,
you must be sick in the head.
They said they're not humans, so it's okay to eat them.
Oh my god.
Me when that is insane. Yeah. So are we ready to talk about just like that last chapter
last
and
4
just the
pages?
way the story comes
Let's
together?
talk about the last chapter.
Because I cried like multiple times during the Bellemere
Flashback?
Hope you're keeping track.
flashback. Yeah, I haven't been like, don't have a tally mark, but
Perfect.
we'll do that at some point. I write them down when I can. But it's like when she came out of the water, I cried, and when she like sacrificed, when she was like, "Hey, Nami, Nojiko, I love you," and then got shot in the head. That was such a brutal, like, emotional moment. But that's the really good backstory for Nami. But then we get into her finding out that Arlong betrayed her, and this moment that is just, God, that was my other cry count. Is you've got this whole moment where Nami is like down on her luck, or like just like crushed, and you've been talking the whole arc about how Nami made this vow to like never cry
and
again.
she was like, guys, don't attack. I'm just going to start over again. Please. And I was like...
and all of the villagers were like, no, you did it. You tried. You're time to rest, and we do this.
When Genzo grabs the blade of the knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, you can't stop us from doing this. And she is like, I am going to lose I'm going to watch everything I've worked for be destroyed.
And it really, like, it just everything about like her character to make that moment like mean what it meant was built up you know what I mean? Like you didn't have to like think too hard or like reread it and like then you make the realization. It's just like everything Nojiko said, and it was like she never asks for help ever, like and she never wants any friends, and it's the worst thing ever. So like when she like asked Luffy to help her, that was like it was just like times 3,000.
Domain expansion.
Shut up.
You have this moment right up there. I love that moment where she's on the ground and she's like trying to cut off her tattoo, which was brutal.
I thought she was just stabbing it to scar it. I didn't know she was trying to.
I don't know. To me, I didn't look like whatever she's trying to ruin the tattoo.
Yeah.
So
she's
it's
trying to
no
make
longer
a
on her
Joestar
skin.
birthmark on her left shoulder.
But then you have that like just a beautiful moment where like Luffy grabs the knife, right, and gets her to stop for a second, and she's just like, "You don't know anything," and he's just like, "Yeah, I don't."
That
and
stuff like that gets me. I don't know why.
That's what started to
The
get me.
fucking hat.
Yeah.
And it's just
The
like,
fucking hat on
I
there.
told you to leave, didn't I? And she's like, yeah, you did.
And he goes.
She has been so scared to ask anybody for anything, and Luffy doesn't even know what's been going on in her life, and he doesn't need anything other than just knowing that they're friends.
Yeah, I think maybe because like I don't know if she just like oh Josh is crying.
All right, you
I'm
fucking
trying
got me,
not to
Clayton.
get-
You
Josh-
fucking got me.
Josh cries.
That is so beautiful.
Yay! This is everything I've ever wanted out of this podcast.
Hey, I'm glad you're having fun. I'm glad you're having fucking fun. I don't know if anyone heard. I started tearing up. I started hiding my eyes and tearing up.
He was on his knees trying to cut his arm off.
I started to put another Joestar birthmark on my back. I have 3 already.
Every time he gets too sad.
Every time I cry, I have another one.
He just gouged his eyes out and started using
Continue.
echolocation. I've lost my train of thought
But then
completely.
you get this moment right where she's like says help me or whatever, and it's just like he's just like he does that whole like okay, which is so
Yeah.
fucking
And
silly.
then he
and goofy.
walks over to his boys.
and he just
His
says
bo-
let's
oh.
go, and they all go.
They're like,
right.
fuck yeah,
And I was like-
we're going.
I was sitting in my bed at like 4 a.m. reading this, and like they said that, and I went like, yo, let's go.
I could hear a soundtrack of some kind going on.
Right.
I don't even know what it was, but as it was like cutting to back to Arlong, and then you see Johnny and Yosaku, like they came back and they were like, yeah, we heard and we tried to fight them, and y'all can't handle this. You gotta wait for them to come. Who? Bam! Where the fuck is Arlong?
Which ones are long?
Which one of you is Arlong? Luffy's gonna have some shark for dinner.
I fucking love that moment so much because it's just another moment of Luffy just being like, he doesn't need to know anything. He is just like, I'm looking for one guy and I'm going to beat the fuck out of you.
I will say, if it maintains this momentum of, on average, not even complete, but it just keeps this going, I'm on my way to really liking One Piece.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So far, I've been pretty good. I'm like, this is pretty good. I'm enjoying it. I like it right now.
Yep.
I
This
like
is, far from the peak. There's arcs that'll come and they'll be good, but not as good as this. But this will be surpassed at least 5 times that I can think of right now. In my opinion.
I like that the reason that Nami never asked for help wasn't like the classic, like I don't want to be weak, so like I don't want anyone to help me because that means I'm weak and blah blah blah. That means I'm not strong if I ask other people for help or whatever. It was like, oh, if I ask anyone for help, that means that they're in danger or anything.
Yeah.
So it was just refreshing having that be the reason instead.
As well as this whole time she's been so money hungry, and you could make the assumption like, oh yeah, she's greedy, until we find out that money to her is not just luxury, but money is safety.
Yeah.
She lost her family because they didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of like Dio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Just like
Just like him.
just like
She's just like Dio.
She
Just
becomes
like
a
him.
vampire. I got that spoiled for
that's
me.
right.
Yeah.
Why would you say that? No, we're all spoiled. I literally told Adriana like today. I was like, I know something about something later, and like I didn't say what it was. That was my words. I was like, yeah, I found out something. Adriana goes, what the fuck? Well, now I know that there's something.
That is not what happened. That is not what happened.
Okay.
We were talking about Buggy, and I was saying like, yeah, definitely I feel like he's gonna be like super influential later, right? I said that, and then you say, I know something crazy. So now I know something crazy related to what I just said. And Clayton's mad at you, and that's how I know I'm right.
Clayton is about to fucking kill me, dude.
I mean, I'm not even. This isn't even about anything that comes later. Why are you saying this shit? And why are you finding this out?
It's literally like he can't resist.
I have this thing where I need people to know that I'm a good secret keeper, but I'm not good at keeping
the fact that you have.
Yeah, that I have a secret. Like I need people to know I know secrents, and I won't tell. I'll never tell. And
you will though.
No,
you will.
I won't. When you find out, I've just randomly seen panels. Back in my less careful days, I have muted One Piece since.
Yeah, I had
on Twitter.
Yeah, TikTok has been trying to give me spoilers. I muted One Piece and Luffy and Gear 5 on
Beautiful.
Whatever on TikTok.
I can't
And then
wait,
YouTube keeps trying to keeps giving me 5-second unskippable ads for one of those shitty mobile games that does like a crossover with One Piece. And they're like, Luffy Fit Gear coming to app. And I like have to like immediately like look away because I don't want to see
so funny.
what his power set is or whatever.
Enter now and get Zoro's ghost.
What? He has a what? What the fuck? He's like
Pet ghost.
okay.
Casper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of true. There's
His sword.
Oh.
That's the most non-spoiler thing. But in 50 years, we can look back and talk about what happened.
Okay. No, like I have already before I even started One Piece. Whenever I saw clips of the latest episodes, which would come out just be on my Twitter, I'd be like, shit looks fire, not gonna lie, wish I cared. And now I'm like, I'm a smidgen of the way into One Piece, and I'm like, I can't fucking wait. I can't fucking wait to know why and how this is happening, and then to read it, and then to watch it, and then to read it again. Like, that's where I'm at.
I remember when there was one moment where we were it was some new chapter had gone out, and Clayton and Alex and another friend of the show, Ben, was they were like all reading the chapter in like a movie theater, and I remember like looking over and seeing like a panel of it was silhouetted, so I don't know what happened, but it looked like a major like character death or something like that, and I'm so happy. Like so looking back now, I was like in the moment I was like, oh okay, and y'all were like crying, and we're all like, that was like the best chapter in a while. And
when was this?
This was like a 6 months ago, something like that, and it's in the lobby of some theater. Yeah. And yeah, it's just crazy how close I've come to major spoilers.
I wish I didn't know what I knew.
I have absolutely no spoiler. I don't think my phone knows that I'm doing this at like my algorithm is clean. Probably not.
That's good. That's the way you want it.
Yeah.
Mine is so dirty. I gotta clean it up. I gotta fucking clean it up.
Anything else to talk about?
This is the most excited I've been to continue One Piece.
Yeah, I really just kept reading last night. I really had to.
I'm low key might keep reading tonight and tomorrow.
Tonight and tomorrow.
Do it.
Should we talk about setting expectations?
Sure, yes.
And then franchise potential.
Oh, fuck. There's an ice cream truck outside.
Guys, we'll be right back.
We're recording
We gotta
a
pause. We
podcast
have to
right
pause
now.
the podcast.
Fuck.
We have to. I keep hearing this ice cream truck outside my window every day, and I want.
Are you being for real?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we need to pause it.
Okay,
I'll
anyway,
miss
see you
the
next
ice cream
time.
truck. I'll miss the
Bye.
ice cream truck.
Love you, good night. Love you, good night. Ice cream.
Ice cream.
I hear this ice cream truck like every day, and I always miss it, and I want it. So
I'm already
bad.
thinking about. God, I'm at the point of no return. Clayton.
How do you mean?
Because I literally just thought about the idea of making a One Piece tier list, and it got me a little excited.
I thought you were gonna say it got me a little hard.
No. But it got me like, I got a little like,
In not next episode of this podcast, but the episode after that, we are going to play a game and rank our favorite Straw Hats each.
Cool.
I don't think we'll be able to do anything like that with JoJo yet.
No.
But that's fine.
Probably not till after part 3. We finish part 3.
You know what? That's fair.
Expectations. Should we do One Piece or JoJo first?
I think we should start with One Piece.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sure thing. Coming forward with it, One Piece, I would recommend, because we're going to have 2 different arcs that we see bits of. We're a little over halfway done with Arlong Park. I think Arlong Park is about the same length in total as Baratier. So we'll be finishing Arlong Park. I would recommend, you don't have to read all of One Piece, I would recommend trying to continue the Arlong Park train. At least read the next couple chapters sooner rather than later, because I think they're really nice, like kind of coming off of this moment.
Sick.
But other than that, I don't think there's too much expectations to be set. The next arc that we're going to be getting into a little bit is a small one, a very small one. Weird to even call it like an arc necessarily. It's a little pit stop, and I think it is a blast. I think it is. A lot of people don't put it very highly for them. I think every chapter we just get fun little cute stuff that I love a lot.
Will we be finishing the next arc in the next episode?
No,
Okay.
we will be getting to chapter 99, titled, I'm going to tell y'all the chapter of 99.
Okay.
No, I'm going to. Chapter 99, a.k.a. Luffy dies.
Yeah.
One Piece is over!
What? That's awesome.
Is One Piece over? Is it ending?
Yeah, chapter 99. Remember, everybody talks about how crazy long it is.
Is the One Piece the Matrix of Destiny?
The One Piece was actually Luffy's hat, even. Did you know?
Did
The
you
One
even
Piece
know
is
that?
Unicron.
Did you even know?
Expectations for
Vibranium.
JoJo's.
Just have so much fun and be like, oh, that guy is awesome.
Okay.
And then he's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, so hold
Okay.
on.
He's gonna have an interesting
Before we-
hat.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, 2 volumes, right? We're reading 2 volumes?
2 volumes.
Yeah.
Yes. You're going to start part 3.
Volumes.
You're going to start part 3. You're going to remember some things. You're not going to remember some things. Part 3 Part 3 is an important part.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are laughing about something. What are y'all laughing about?
He said volume.
I said volumes.
Like
I said
testicles.
volumes.
Sure.
like balls from a penis.
Balls from a penis.
Yeah.
All right.
The ones that
How
hang
does
off
that work?
They hang off the tip.
Hey, Clayton, mark the time. We're going to cut that. We're going to cut that.
Wait, you can't cut that. You can't cut that.
No, I'm keeping it in my back pocket in case I need to blackmail you.
Friend of the show, Jill, is
Experiencing
looking at
this
us
moment.
and experience, is feeling things about that.
It's funny.
So he's a cool guy, and have fun with
Jotaro
him.
he's the coolest guy actually.
Well,
but we won't
yeah.
get into
I
that.
mean, like, you're going to be like, shut up, kind of. But, like, and then you'll be like, psh, you're such a rascal.
Yeah.
you're gonna be
You're gonna get a couple more moments of JoJo inconsistency. I think that is something, especially in this part. There's a few major things that you might be like, oh, okay. I don't know why we never saw that again.
There's a lot of part 3 in general is
no, that's easily explained.
and also.
Hayden
I forgot we were doing a podcast for a second, and I just
Hayden
did.
is miming,
I did
a
miming.
paintbrush and fingers right
Uh-huh.
now. Anyway, for those who know, you know. I have devised part 3's schedule is going to be a little different because it's fucking long.
yeah.
Part 3 is its own journey. Part 3 is almost as long as all of Legend of Korra. It's 48 episodes.
Its own adventure.
It's its own adventure. It is longer than both parts 1 and 2 combined. But that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity you'll see why eventually.
Yeah.
Honestly, part 3 has a lot of times where you feel you get really comfortable with the characters and the show a lot in this part, but also there's a lot of things about in this part that are going to make you very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like
and make
so-
me extra comfortable.
Okay.
Just because
Is it more Nazi?
No, it's just stuff that's it can be so fun. There are some episodes. There is an episode. There are 2 episodes in this part that are, in my opinion, by far the worst episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I think I know one of the ones that y'all are talking about.
I'm not talking about that one.
I think I've seen it.
I'm not talking about that.
Not the monkey.
That's up there in terms of worst. I can't wait for you to get to this arc too. It's.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're gonna have to roll with the punches.
I don't remember that at all.
But overall, that the ends justify the means.
The ends justify the means.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to get. It's only like, again, it's like a 2-episode thing. But overall, my advice to you with starting part 3 is more important than anything. Just vibe. Okay. This is about boys getting to know boys. That's what this journey's about.
Okay.
And if you're
Boy
like,
time.
oh, I wonder what the story's going to be. Don't fucking worry about the story.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Worry about them punching each other and
worry about and loving each
Yeah.
other and laughing and
Imagine
crying.
if he never met the broskies.
Imagine if he never met the broskies.
Okay.
Josh, how many episodes is Clayton watching this week?
3
Just 3.
episodes.
Just 3.
You're going to start with 3, and that might be a trend going forward with the next few parts because, it sucks. Part 3 is divisible perfectly by 6, but we cannot watch it by 6s.
Yeah, Josh has meticulously calculated as a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper with a bunch of different things on it.
I actually wanted to ask if you... we'll get into this actually after the show, but you'll watch the first 3 episodes. It's a perfect starting and stopping point that you will be at. And I cannot wait to talk about it. I wouldn't mind catching these with you, but I think you'll probably get to them before we do the next recording. So
probably.
Yeah, but just this is a comfort anime. Part 3 is very much
for a lot of people
a comfort anime, and I'd try to keep that in mind when you're watching it.
Clayton, get comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as it doesn't try to shove as much down your throat thematically, I would say.
Hell yeah.
Just my viewpoint. But sorry, I'm going to say a lot. I'm going to say less.
Well, I'm excited to get to it. I think we both probably got some very tasty bites to get to.
Yeah.
What is get munching? Munch,
crunch.
One more thing I want to ask Clayton.
Crunch.
What is the last thing you can absolutely remember? I know I've asked this before, but I really want to see what's stuck.
Okay, there was the monkey on the boat, and he did some bad stuff. There was I remember Joseph is taking photos. There's some vines and stuff. I think that's all like the first episode, though. Eventually, there is Kakyoin. Is that his name?
Yeah. Kakyoin. Yeah.
Jotaro is at like a hotel with him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna put on a bathing suit or something," and Jotaro's like, "Kakyoin wouldn't do that."
What?
Right? Is that a thing?
You're sort of misremembering things, but it's awesome. I know what arc you're talking about.
Would never put on a bathing
Anything
suit.
else? I know you were spoiled for something big.
I think I remember something happening. I really think I remember getting to the first death, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
So Clayton has not. I don't think Clayton, you have gone to even the halfway point of Stardust Crusaders. This is so exciting because we're going to get to the first part that you haven't watched all the way through. Eventually, you're going to be watching all new JoJo.
I'm very excited for that.
I can't fucking wait. I'm so excited. Well, with that, we have our homework. We have our thoughts. This was a great episode. I had fun. Y'all had fun. Don't shake your head. Stop shaking it. Everyone's shaking their heads.
I had fun.
Okay, cool.
I had fun.
I had fun.
All right.
I had fun.
Okay.
Josh is holding
anyway,
a gun to all of our heads.
Anyway,
right
see
now.
you next week or whenever
knuckles.
you're listening to this.
Like Wolverine holding 3 guns.
And with that, we were having 2 different conversations
Shut
again.
up,
Into the
because
mic.
ours is
Ours
fun.
is funny. Ours is funny.
And with that,
God, we
We
love
love
you.
you.
Good night.
Read your volumes.